Hi everybody, this is Lisa again. We're talking about being borderline Alzheimer's at 55, which was just a month ago that I learned that I had borderline Alzheimer's, and that is in the first video. This is the second video. And so what I decided to do is just kind of journey along, because I don't even know what the path is. I have no idea what's going to happen to me. I know they're sending me for further testing, and it's for the memory clinic. And if you guys remember from the last video, the memory clinic scheduling is so far booked out they can't book anymore. So they sent what test they were going to give me to my neurologist, who already believes that I have Alzheimer's. So I'm just waiting on them to contact me about it. I found out through my charts that the stuff was sent over, but the neurologist has not got a hold of me yet. So, but I do have an upcoming appointment on the 6th with her, so hopefully we'll find out a lot back then. But anyway, and these are going to be a little sporadic. There's a lot that's going on in my life while trying to deal with this. I also found out that I have cerebral occlusion and infarction, something like that, going on. So I've got ischemic changes in my head, and that's not good. So we want to make sure I have no stress, and so I don't have a stroke or something. And dealing with this Alzheimer's stuff is not good. I mean, it's just not helping. I am waking up in the middle of the night, and I'll stay up for hours on end, and the only thing I do is worry. Is just I think I think and think and think, and then it's hard to get back to bed. I gotta be up at 4 a.m. because I'm sorry about that. Thank my little kiddo, Noodles is his name, my little cat. And anyway, so on this video, I thought that we could touch upon when I was young, and some of my earliest memories. I mean, I'll still have them throughout the journey, but my earliest time was elementary school, and Grandma had it, and I knew it. My mom said that she started just forgetting little things here and there. Sorry about that. Probably about 5 years before she actually died from it. And Grandma is a really hard one for me to accept. For until I became an adult, I didn't even know that she was, I guess I was her number one grandchild, because for the longest time I was the only one, and of course, my dad was an only son, and so Grandma, I guess, was really protective of me and just loved me a bunch. So anyhow, when she got sick, some of my earliest memories was taking care of her. Since then, all the way up until I was about 16, every weekend I would go stay with my grandma, and take care of her. Later on, it was him, taking care of him. Every summer, that's directly where I went. So I was a caregiver from, a real young age on up, for somebody with Alzheimer's. So I know beyond a shadow of a doubt what I am facing. So, which is why I have said since I was 18, I'll reiterate it in every video if I need to, but I do want to die before or at the beginning of stage 3 Alzheimer's. Um, that is something that I said since I was 18 years old. I am not changing my mind. I was very adamant about it back then. I am now. My family knows. Anybody that knows me pretty much knows, because Alzheimer's is a familial Alzheimer's in our family, which excuse me, affects less than 1% of Alzheimer's cases worldwide. Um, so we have had a lot. Well, my grandma had it. 3 of her sisters did too. And the first time I knew that something was wrong with our next door, the one that lived next door, my Aunt Nora, um, is I was on the back of the porch at Grandpa's, and she was walking across the yard just like she always does to come over to visit. But this time, and she always dresses nice. She used to be an RN, always little petite woman, but always dressed really nice, and always kept a tucked little tissue inside her left watch, and that was cute. But she had her clothes on nice as usual, but she had her bra on the outside of her shirt, and that is the second that I knew. And I remember, even at such a young age, how horrible, I mean horrible, think about it, how horrible it must be to believe something, think something is real, that a person's name is different, anything that the person with Alzheimer's is thinking. A lot of it can be very, misconstrued, that they get it wrong and such. And that's being a prisoner of your own mind. To her, walking across that yard with her bra on the outside was the normal way she's done it for 60 years. But to her, it was just normal. Just normal. And that's got to be horrific. That is the one thing that I couldn't believe. I mean, once a person is going to forget, and this is my experience, a person is going to forget people's names, things like that, before their body really starts shutting down. Okay. It don't shut down till later. You may have little problems, but your memory is the thing that goes first. And that's terrible. That's terrible, terrible, because like with my grandma, my grandpa took care of her, as long as he could. And finally they told him that if he did not put her in a nursing home, that he would end up in one also. So it was very hard on him, and very reluctantly he went ahead and put her in a nursing care facility, but he was there like all the time. But grandma, I mean, eventually, you need the feeding tubes and the whole 9 yards. I mean, your body's just being eaten up. It's almost like having your mind go insane, to the world, not to yourself, but to the world. And also having like a cancer thing, that is where you're at the end of it, and it tears up your body. I mean, it shuts down things. It's horrible. Alzheimer's is got to be, and I'm not saying this because of my family. I'm saying this from experience. And I used to be in nursing. It has got to be just horrible. There's no other word for it. Just horrible. It's got to be the worst disease out there. Um, I mean, I'm sure there's others, you know, like Ebola, things like that, but at least that's quick. Um, Grandma, from what I understand, was a very, very kind hearted soul who did anything for everybody. So much so that it drove my dad crazy. Um, I honestly don't know the backstory about all of it, but I know that he did not like. He said she let people walk all over her, but Grandma just took things in stride and just wanted to be a loving person, was all. But at staying at my grandpa's, though, I ended up, because he's from Austria. She, of course, is Sicilian, and they, uh, Grandpa taught me how to make sauerkraut. And I mean, from a young age, in the crock pot with the salt and letting it cure, and I mean, the whole 9 yards. And then putting it in the cellar so that it stays in a cool, dry place. Uh, it was great. Homebrew. I used to help my grandpa make homebrew all the time. He had special bottles that he used, and they had to be corked, or not corked, I'm sorry. Oh, with the little lid thing that comes down. The traditional old type of lids that you'd have to pop off. Um, I learned so much. Um, they used to be a sausage called Dock sausage, and Grandpa had an old coal house, and that those sausages would be out there in that coal house smoking for hours and hours. Oh, they were so good. Um, Puts them in a pot of boiling water, and is the best food that I think I have ever eaten. It was, oh, I miss it. But I do have the recipe though, so I and my dad's, and we'll go into that one another time. But anyway, just a little bit about my grandma and me taking care of her when she had Alzheimer's. Um, so anyway, okay, this video too. All right, 55-year-old diagnosed with borderline Alzheimer's. Crazy as it sounds, yeah. Anyway, okay, wait, video 3.